Hello, everybody. I hope you're doing very well today. Sorry, I had a brain fart there. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. So while people jump on, let me just go to my group, see if we're there, so I can see Yep, I can. Awesome. All right, so now I can see all the quotes in real time. That sounds like a good thing. Let me just... Yep, okay. So we're set. I think I'm just fiddling around waiting for people to get on. Hopefully people jump on. I sent out a few reminders. And I'll start chatting in a little bit, just so you know when you hop on, or you guys in the replay, because you know what, I'm going to talk to you, because only you guys are going to see this. So hello, replay viewers, how are you? If you want to help me out, if you can hit the likes and the loves and keep on hitting them, that will tell Facebook that, oh, look, this girl's got something great to say. Let's put her up to the top of the group timeline. So just a little thought to help me out. Hopefully we will get people on. If not, I will just start chatting. Once we get to like maybe 2 minutes, 30 seconds, I'll start my spiel. Hopefully people jump on by the time we get to our live Q&A section. So, oh, we have one person. Oh, Lori! Hello, Lori! Pop in some likes and loves so we can get people to notice that we're live. That would be fabulous. Fabulous. I have my phone or my iPad in front of me, so I get to see everything in real time. So if I look down, that is why. So I guess we'll just give it a few more, maybe second. We'll get to 20 more seconds and see if somebody else jumps on. So how are you, Lori? How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. Keep hitting those little things. You know, like, love. And if you want to laugh at me, feel free to laugh at me. Facebook likes those little, those little emojis, those likes, whatever. They like the wow face, the laughy face, and then the love and the likes. And the more you pop them in, Facebook gets like the algorithm just says, okay, we're going to the top of the group timeline. So, so many people can see us and they can join in. So thank you very much, Lori. Thank you. I'm watching. I can't see the little things go across my laptop, but I can see them in the iPad. So I guess we can just get started. I am. A lot of things have been kind of popping into my, I guess, my attention lately. And one of the things that keeps popping in is choice. Now, if you've watched my last video that I did on Monday, you know that I've been doing lots of soul searching, and I've been doing lots and lots of learning. And, choice is going to be, it's already been a big part of what now look at the camera, Victoria, about what I, focus on. We all really have to be, we have to make choices in our lives. I mean, not just everyday basic routine choices, but we have to make choices. And that's been kind of popping up because I've had to make a lot of choices, and I've had to, decide that some of the things that I've been doing, I have to start over. I had to make the choice to pause a little bit on the spinning in my head of what I want to bring to you. and realized that I need to learn the things that I'm missing. So I made that choice. I just finished my breakfast. Another choice. I decided to take a shower and dress like a hippie today. So I'm wearing a nice little maxi dress, nice and comfortable for the hot day, and my hair. And that's a choice. So what are some of the choices that you have to make? Just random everyday choices that you have to make. I guess you can type a 1 in the comments if you had to make a choice today. I should be seeing a 1 up there because we all have to make choices every day. But even on the replay, if you had to make a choice today, this is a silly little question, but type a 1 in the comments if you had to make a choice today. And, you know, I'm sure I'm going to start seeing these ones coming up. You know, it's part of life. It really is a part of life. And some of them are just random, like what hair color I choose to have, what sweater I choose to wear, what, TV show I want to watch, what food I eat for breakfast. But then there's other choices. And this is kind of what I wanted to go into. I talked many, many times about how we need to take control of our lives. And one of the ways that we take control of our lives is to make different choices. So, just for an example, and this is going to sound like, it's kind of like blending the whole daily routine and tough choices together. But I had an issue back probably right before I was 40. So probably about almost 7 years ago. Actually, no, it was 7 years ago. And I had lived most of my adult life sick. I was always sick. I had chronic bronchitis. I had chronic pneumonia. Always run down. Health has been a big issue for me ever since I was 18 when I got my first bout of pneumonia. And it lasted for months. And it pretty much destroyed my my reputation in cheerleading and stuff like that, because I was so sick I couldn't get to meets. And it was the reason why I got kicked off the squad when I was a senior, right before the end of the wrestling seasons, because I had missed too many practices because I was sick. And we can go into the issues that my coach was going through. I wasn't one of her favorites, let's just put it that way. So it was a good excuse for her. But that's neither here nor there. So that's when I started getting sick. So throughout the 90s, I graduated in 89. So throughout the 90s, almost every year I was in the hospital at least once for something, whether it's an emergency thing because I had an asthma attack or panic attack or whatever it was. But I was struggling a lot. And then, I got into my car accident in 93. I had back surgery in 94. So again, hospitals. 95, I had another asthma attack. I had another bout of bronchitis. And they put me in the hospital for like 4 days, which kind of sucked. But it did. Oh, hey! Hi! Welcome. Yeah, so here I am, 24 years old, sitting in a hospital for, 4 days with oxygen running through me. And the doctor who I went to see when I just had bronchitis basically treated me like a number. I wasn't important. He wasn't my primary care physician. I didn't have one at the time. So, but I needed to go. So I went to him, and he just sit there and say, "Hey, you just got bronchitis. Here's some samples of this antibiotic, and you'll be good to go. Well, the next day, I was rushed to the hospital. I couldn't breathe. I was turning blue and all that stuff. So that kind of happened. And that's going to go into one of the choices I've made later in life. So 96, I had another thing. I was in the hospital again because I ended up getting optic neuritis, went blind in my left eye, and went 2 years thinking that I had some mysterious disease. I ended up also getting chronic fatigue at the time, so I was sleeping all the time. It was just one thing after the other. So the 90s were like my sick decade. And I was done with it. So when I was, I continue along, my 30s come, I'm managing it, I'm dealing with it, trying to work, and I kept getting the bronchitis and the pneumonia. It just never went away. I would get pneumonia probably 2 or 3 times a year, bronchitis probably about 6 to 7 times a year. So I was just about to turn 40, and I just kind of said, I'm done. And this is probably the biggest choice I ever had to make in my life. And when I said I was done, I was done. I was done being sick and tired. So I kept saying to people, I'm like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, because I was done with it. I was done. And the one thing that I knew is when I had to work for somebody else, when I had to, live a normal lifestyle where, 9 to 5 or, 11 to 7 or whatever was done, but just working like normal people. Within 6 months of that job, I ended up getting sick again. So again, the cycle of bronchitis would start. And I was done with it. I had been struggling a lot with some of the things that I talked about in other videos about my animals passing away. And this one time, one of my cats passed away, and it was hard on me. So I ended up being late for work one too many times, and I got laid off. And I couldn't make the decision to leave. I wanted to leave this job so bad because I didn't want to be sick anymore. I didn't want to stress myself out. But I didn't, because there was only one other person who did the job, and I wanted to be compassionate to her and blah, 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 whatever. So I got laid off. And that was the best day. I literally was in the office with my boss, and I cried tears of gratitude. I was so happy that I didn't have to make the choice, because it was too hard for me to leave. Because I felt bad for my coworker. So here I am. Boom, no job. What do? Well, I made the choice that I was done working for everybody else. I was going to focus on me, and I was going to, and here's the kicker, I was going to not never, but I wasn't going to use the alarm clock to wake me up in the morning. I was going to wake up when I wanted to, when my body felt like it was ready to, and I would go to sleep when my body got tired. And this was life-changing. Oh my gosh, life-changing. That was the last day I worked for anybody else. And that was also the last time I ever had bronchitis or pneumonia. My body, and here I am, 7 years later, I have not had pneumonia. I have not had bronchitis. And I can't tell you how free I feel. I still have my issues, because I do have chronic issues. I do still have the chronic fatigue syndrome, and I still have the fibromyalgia. But they are managed without medication, without anything, because I made the decision for myself that I wanted to be healthy. So type a 2 in the comments if you've ever had to make a huge life-changing decision like that. Just type a 2. And let me know if you've ever had to make a life-changing decision that was for the better. I mean, I know we make decisions all the time, but type it 2 if you ever had to make that decision. I can't be the only one. But I think it's just still me and you, Lord. I think Libagang, I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry if you watch this on the replay. Please let me know how to spell your name or how to say your name. I would hate to butcher the name so much. But awesome. Okay, 2. Got multiple 2s. Yes. We have to do these things. And one of the other things that I did is, as I was going through, and this goes back to the time when I went to that doctor and he just kind of treated me like a number, I also made the choice that I don't go to just any doctor. I only go to specialists. I only go to doctors who put my needs ahead of theirs, that support me, that listen to me, that, oh, hello, Vicky, that support me, that listen to me, that, make me feel like I'm being heard. Because that doctor nearly killed me. Because he was too focused on his own agenda. He was too focused on being a doctor. He wasn't focused on the patient. So, basically from my whole adult life thus far, I have made 2 incredibly large choices in my life. And I am so much better for it. Again, since Vicky is here, I've been learning a lot of stuff about Facebook. So if you like what you're hearing, or you just want to support me and get other people on the video, hit the likes and the loves. Like, you can even do like a rapid succession. Hit them, and Facebook gets the notification of like, oh, hey, this chick is awesome. Let's put her up to the top of the group's timeline so we can, so more people can see her. So if you can do that, oh, thank you. I have my iPad down here so I can see them graph. So that's one of the things. So the more you comment, the more you hit those likes and you light up the screen, the more Facebook will sit there. So those are some of the choices that I wanted to bring. Now, I'm just kind of coming off the cuff. I have no notes here. So I apologize if I'm rambling, but hey, I'm a rambler. Authentic me. But now I'm not going to say that when you make a choice, okay, when you make a choice that you feel is in your best interest, it's not always going to be easy. Because my life, I just finished my breakfast. My days don't start. I wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's when my body wants to get up. I used to wake up at 3, so my body is adapting. But I used to wake up at 2, I now wake up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I go to bed at 5 in the morning. And you can probably see how that can cause a problem with today's society. I miss out on a lot of things. I may not get a call into the vet or a doctor's or anything like that because they close by the time I even realize or get my button gear, because it does take me a long time to kind of get ready. But that's one of the things that you have to deal with. You have to kind of weigh your options when you decide to make a choice, especially a big one, such as like me changing my entire life and living organically. You have to understand that there are things that you may miss out on. I haven't been able to get to church in a long time because I can't get up at 9:30 in the morning. And for me to get to church by 9:30 in the morning, I would have to not go to bed. And then I get into the cycle of getting sick again. So I do my own study. And I focus on my own stuff. And I've made the choice that just because I don't walk into the doors of a church, I'm still going to focus on my testimony and the stuff that I do. Now that's one instance. Other thing is like, yeah, I don't get places before 5 o'clock. So if something closes at 5 o'clock, I miss out all the time. But then there's cool stuff. Like if I really need to go shopping, guess what? I can go shopping at like 11 o'clock at night and have nobody in my line at Walmart or whatever, or the grocery store, because they close at midnight. We have a 24-hour Walmart about 25 minutes north of here. But, so I make adjustments. That's what you gotta do. You make adjustments. And I also have been able to accomplish so much stuff because I'm working in the middle of the night where there's no distractions. Just my little feline beasts who come in looking for food. Those are my only distractions. The hubby's asleep. The phones are not ringing. And, and if I'm getting distracted, that's on me. So it gives me an accountability. So, you kind of play the gamut. So type a 3 in the comments if any of this resonates with you, and if any of the things that I said hold value for you. So type a 3 if you can utilize this in your own life, because that is the main reason why I tell my stories, is for you to be able to get something out of it. So just type a 3. And that is my spiel. It was a little bit longer than normal. I tried to keep it between 15 and 17 minutes. I rambled for 21, but I didn't write anything. Awesome. Thank you, Lori. Thank you. Maya rambled. And hey, that's fine. That's good. So, with the remaining time, if you have any questions about my story, about, hey, what kind of sweater I'm wearing, whatever, feel free to ask any questions, and we will go from there. So do you have any questions, Lori? I've just been I really wanted to bring this message to you because I've just noticed, choosing. And, the tag on to this. And if you don't have any questions, that's completely fine. I'll just keep rambling and talking. Here's another thing when it comes to choice. I gave you my examples of life choices that I've made. I gave you examples of random, daily, everyday choices. But there are other choices that need to be taken into consideration. And one of those is how you respond to your environment. That is a choice. That is a choice. And I've mentioned it before, but nobody can make you feel anything. You choose to be angry at somebody. You choose to be hurt by somebody. And, so sometimes choices are very difficult. Accepting and positively moving forward after the choice is hard for me on a daily basis. Yeah. When you make a choice, you really have to commit to it, because that's where the transformation happens. Is if you make a choice, commit to it, and stick with it. Especially if you are look at it this way. If you are making your choice out of love for yourself or for somebody else, then you have nothing to worry about. So be confident in your choice. Be confident in how you want to present yourself to the world. Because that's the most important thing. So, if you feel guilty because you made a choice that you wanted to take care of yourself and your needs, then you have to deal with that. You have to realize or figure out where that guilt's coming from. Because there should be no guilt if you did that out of self-love. If you did that out of selfishness and maliciousness, then maybe you might need to reevaluate things. But if you're doing that choice out of love for yourself, then you have nothing to feel guilty for. And you choosing to be guilty, again, is a choice. So, have to do for myself. Been doing too much for... Exactly. How many times have I said you can't pour from an empty cup? If you do not take care of who you are and your needs and fill your cup up, how are you going to pour out that love to somebody else? We end up, and I keep looking at my big old head. Look at the camera. You have to fill your cup. You have to. Because if you don't fill your cup, then you start to feel the shame. You start to feel the guilt. You start to feel the resentment. And I don't know about you, but those three things, they ain't fun. So, they're not good feelings. And then you're going to come back with me so I can help you work through that shame and the guilt. But, you need to focus on the intention. And I'm sitting on my earphones, sorry. The intention is where you can find your confidence and where you can start to feel less guilty about things. So use that. My whole mission in life is to help people realize their value, to help people realize their worth, and the one thing that keeps coming up is first of all, you're born worthy. You're born with value. But as we go through life, we start to get in these negative patterns. And we have to reclaim our value and our worth. And here's the key thing. You choose your value. You choose your value. That's a choice. That's a choice. If you don't think, or you have chosen to believe that you are not valuable or worthy of self-care and self-love, or any of the riches this universe wants to bestow on you, it wants to give you, that's a choice. So, it might take a little work, but you choose to reclaim your value. You choose to peel away all of those layers of negative thinking and negative patterns and the images that our family and our friends and those that we interact with on a regular basis have placed upon us. Because that's not the truth. So tired of those feelings, they're getting me nowhere. Well, you know what? It's time. It's time to choose you. It really is time to choose you. Make the choice. And it can feel like it's a very difficult choice. But, and you may fall a little bit, but it's simple. You just do it. Just like I did it. This is like I read in that book. You just do it. You just choose. And be okay with your choice. Because that is you being your authentic self. That is you being the true, divine, spiritual being that is wearing this skin suit. So I know that sounds really weird, but we are not this. We are not physical beings. We are spiritual beings. And all of this stuff, everything we see, what we comment, that's not real. That's not us. The value is already there. So it's making the choice, making that choice. So, I hope that helps. And I know that I do consider all of my thoughts and all of my insights that I bring to you, I mean, they're from my own personal experience. I've always been one who struggled with value and worth and just giving too much. And like what I said, I had that little it's probably a mini midlife crisis, I can talk. Right before I turned 40, that mini midlife crisis was me saying, I'm done. My life as it is right now is not acceptable. I'm going to choose me, and I'm going to choose my health, and I'm going to choose to take care of my place in this world so I can better make the world a better place for everybody else. And that was my defining moment. That really was one of my defining moments, especially when it came to my health. I have had lots of defining moments in my health history, as I've told you in my story. But that was the moment. That was the moment. And I just kind of threw my hands up in the air and said, I'm done. I am done with this. I am done with being sick. I am done with trying to be something I am not. And, I had to get pretty low. There have been many times, I made my father-in-law so uncomfortable because I got to the point where I'm like in the back seat of the car, we're going somewhere, and I just break down. And I just break down. And I just was so tired of being sick. And, you're worth it. I was worth it, and I have just as much worth as you do. So, and know that, because nobody is better than you. Nobody is better than you. Nobody deserves more than you. We all deserve the exact same thing. We all have the exact same worth, and the value is dependent on what we place upon ourselves, not what anybody else does. So we have to choose to want to be valuable to ourselves. So, that's me now. I need to stick with huge choice. I've been wavering too long. Yeah, do it. Do it. If you're doing it out of compassion and love, and your prayers are leading you in this path, then you know what? Trust that. Because God, the universe, source, all of it is, whatever you consider your higher power, only has your best interests at heart. Remember that. And trust that. Trust that. So if you're praying to God, trust that He wants what's best for you. And trust that He will speak to you in whatever way He sees fit. And He'll talk to you in very strange ways. I can completely tell you that. And He may not always be the loving person. Oh my gosh. One of the things that I had to do is I was going through my training for Healing Touch for Animals. And that was my comfort zone, because animals are my comfort zone. And what I had to do, I was originally going to get certified so I can teach Healing Touch for Animals. And I started the process. And in the beginning of the certification process, one of the first things I had to do is I had to take a course for Healing Touch for Humans. And I had to take level 1. So I took level 1. And it was a magical experience. I had never thought that doing energy work like that on an actual person would give me as much joy as doing energy work on an animal did. And let me just tell you, I know, God and I, we have a little interesting relationship. But He said, I swear, this is almost quote for quote what I heard in my head. See, I told you I'd get you here. told me. That's what he told me. See, I knew I'd get you here. I was like, all right, so you let me spend thousands of dollars. But he knew I had to do it. I had to make the choice myself. We have the free will. So I had to make the choice for myself. And he supported me. And he still led me to where I am now. So, it's not always going to be that quiet, still, small voice. We are made in his image. So he's going to be a little sarcastic and a little cheeky sometimes. So, and of course he speaks to us through our own words half the time. So, just pay attention to that. So that's that. And I'm just rambling and I'm just talking and talking and talking. And I'm like, I have to save some of these stories for later. So how does this resonate with you? Have you been able to get anything out of this? I've seen a thumbs up, so I'm assuming yes. I'm trying to look at my thing here. There we go. Okay. Oh, it looks like Sandy joined. Oh, but she's not here anymore, so it's just still me and you. So, I really hope that my stories help you, my experience helps you, and I've been able to get them across in a entertaining manner, because that's just, that's who I am. And I think storytelling and sharing and discussing, I think that's what really brings us together. That's how we teach. There's a saying where, the teachers that you need are the ones that surround you. Everything is a lesson. Every bad thing, every good thing, every negative person, every positive, they're all a lesson. And it's up to you to choose what lesson you're going to learn. So that's that. So thank you, Lori, for hanging with me. Helps to know that I'm not the only one going through things. Oh yeah, no, you're never the only one. Never the only one. And you know what? I'm always here. I'm always here. If you are struggling with something and you kind of want to help me guide you to what you need to do, I do it intuitively. I do it, it's more of a guidance. I don't tell you what to do because that's just not my job. You can present things and hopefully that helps. Private message me if you're struggling with stuff because I'm here for you. I am here for you. And as I said in the last video, stay tuned. Things are changing. And for those of you on the replay who are my loyal, wonderful, wonderful friends, check out the last video I did on Monday. It'll only be up for a couple more days. And that'll give you kind of an idea of what's going on. And, the future's going to be great. It is so bright, I have to wear my shades. So I will leave you with that. And do you have any last minute questions, Lori, or are we good? If I did my job for the day, I'm very happy. So I'll give you just a couple more seconds, just in case there's a lag. Looking forward to seeing what you're bringing. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. It's going to be different. I have different theme days and everything. It's going to be great. So thank you for the hearts and the likes and all that stuff. Hopefully people will see it on the replay and it'll be up on the top of the timeline in the group. So, as always, be kind to yourself. Lori, this is for you. Be kind to yourself. Don't feel guilty. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. And walk in love and light. And I will see you in the group. And hopefully I can come in again this week. So, bye-bye. Have a great night.